And now you're back out in the fog world. It's his refusal to move on, is it? Pyramid Head just opened the way for you. So Pyramid Head was willing to kill you. Any step of the way. He was down to kill you if you accepted it, if you let him. But if you pose any bit of resistance, you don't kill Pyramid Head. You don't beat him. He leaves, opens the way for you by removing the stagnant water and allowing you to exit through a path that you otherwise wouldn't have. And where are we now? We are just under Rosewater Park, the park by the lake, his objective. Pyramid Head is acting as both an executioner willing to pass some sort of judgment on James, as well as his guide, allowing him to continue. Interesting. Very interesting. He's filling dual roles here. So, I was doing a bit of reading. Pyramid Head's just a plumber. He's just doing the Mario. Give your princess a hand in the mushroom land. I think Pyramid Head accidentally opened the way for you to escape because the town made him stupid. God damn it. God damn it! But, why does James shoot him in his giant metal helm? Video games. It's old games, you know, that's it. I have no good explanation. It's just, old video game mechanic, video games. Damn, that's right, the town did make him stupid. Thoughts on Origins? I don't like it, honestly. I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of any of the Silent Hill games after 3. Like, the only Silent Hill games I like are 1, 2, and 3. Actually, no, that's not true. I like 1, 2, 3, Shattered Memories. That's it. Those are my Silent Hill games. And Shattered Memories, I argue, could have been just Shattered Memories and not a Silent Hill game. And it would have been just as good. But, whatever. It don't matter. It don't matter. It's a dead series. Homecoming was fine. I hard disagree. Okay, so I know Wes likes Homecoming. And see, this is what I was talking about earlier, about when we were talking about David Lynch, about how it's okay to say fuck this, you know, as long as you're not saying there's nothing and can admit when you're pointed out that you're wrong. But I'm not a fan of Homecoming. It's not for me. I don't know, like, it's same thing as like with people like Downpour. It's just like, I think Downpour is a bit more extreme, but people like it. Reboot is coming and a sequel. Don't lose hope. No, it's not coming. Okay. So here's the thing. I don't believe in a single Silent Hill rumor that has ever existed because literally every single one of them has been wrong. Literally every one of them is wrong. Always. And here's the thing. Even, like, let's say it comes out, based on the quality of the last game in the series, yeah, the new games are the cause of loss of hope. Exactly. Like, Silent Hill has been shit, in my opinion, since 3. The best game in the series is one that didn't even need to be called Silent Hill. It's like, I don't know. Like, it's a series that has a very definitive end point. And I see no reason why I had to continue after that. And I think it was a mistake. So if there's never another Silent Hill game again, my answer is good. But there's going to be. Like, I'm not in denial of this. Like, there will inevitably be another Silent Hill game again. Yeah, every week there's a new rumor of a new Silent Hill game getting made. I'm tired of it. I'm over it, man. Even if it did come out, would it be any good? No. I don't think it would match up to this quality. Alright, so there's a very specific point I'm going to get to at the very end where I had a slight argument with some people about I don't think you could remake Silent Hill 2. And it's not even, I don't think that you could remake this game specifically. I don't think a AAA studio, which this was a AAA game, I don't think you could make this in 2020, 2021. I don't think you could do it. And we'll get to why specifically later, and we'll bring up my favorite recent punching bag, The Last of Us 2. I'm not gonna say there can't be a new good Silent Hill game, but there has to be a lot of thought, care, and love in it. Exactly. There can be. You could absolutely make a good Silent Hill game, man. You 100% could. I just don't see it happening. Konami doesn't give a fuck about video games anymore. They don't care. Right? So it's like, I just don't think they have the ability. And it's like, every time they've done this after, they've just given it to an outsourced studio with like $10 for the budget. And it's like, if they're going to make another Silent Hill game, it's just going to be another game like Downpour. It's going to be Downpour 2, basically. Like, not literally, but it's going to have the same thing where it's some Eurojank studio working off of $5 and some, like, pepperoni. I don't know. Yeah, it's like, and honestly, like, I think Silent Hill in general is kind of a lightning in the bottle thing. I don't think you should try to make anything else like this. I think this is something to look back on and say, I want to surpass this. I want to take influence and move on. Like, I think this should be a bar that we want to surpass, not something we want to recreate, if that makes any sense. I think an outsourced studio might have a better chance. True, but the latest real Silent Hill game, it was either Book of Memories. No, it was Downpour. It was Downpour. It was HD Collection Book of Memories Downpour in March of 2012, the month where Silent Hill fucking died. There has never been a game series... Okay, so this is coming out. There's never been a video game series that has gotten fucked and ruined in as short of a time frame as Silent Hill did. In 1 month. Just 1 month. March of 2012. Back to back to back, we got the HD Collection and Book of Memories and Downpour. All one right after the other. And then immediately after that, they announced that Revelations 3D was coming out. And the trailer... I'm looking this up. No, I'm not going to look it up. I need to look up when the trailer for Revelations 3D came out. I could be misremembering, but I know they all came out in the exact, like, a 4-week time span. They all came out one after the other. I was there, damn it. But I know, like, very shortly after that, the official trailer for Silent Hill Revelations 3D came out, which was the real final nail in the coffin, but you can't do it. Yeah, Downpour's the last one. Downpour's the last one. God, fuck Downpour, but... Now I'm just thinking about it. I'm still mad. It's been nearly 10 years. I'm still mad. So, yeah, Silent Hill 1999, Silent Hill 2 2001, Silent Hill 3 2003, Silent Hill 4 2004. Yeah, such an influential trilogy came out in a 4-year span. Like, that's the really impressive shit. Cause like, and even if you include like when it started development, Silent Hill 1 came out. Silent Hill 1 started development in like 1996. So, in like under a decade, you had like all 3 of these games come out just boom, boom, boom. Like, goddamn. That's very impressive. And especially when you compare Silent Hill 1 to Silent Hill 3 and just see the technology advancing that quickly. Aren't the same as Star Wars prequels came out? I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know. But let's talk about knives. Let's talk about some knife symbolism that I found very interesting. So the source of this is the Taishin Book of Symbols. It's just a bunch of it's a big encyclopedia about what different symbols for a bunch of different things mean around the world in different cultures. It's really cool. I'll post it in Discord later. July 27th of 2012 Revelations. God damn it, dude. God damn, that movie fucking sucks. God, it's the worst. But yeah, it's a very interesting book. I'll post it in Discord later, but this is kind of interesting. So knives across like multiple cultures are very common ritual items. And there's a bit about the knife in the book makes a point of this, is there's a bit of a dichotomy to the knife, where it's both a tool that you can use to harm others explicitly, or it can be used as a beneficial tool. You have a 4-hour discussion video on Yick? Hell yeah, dude. It's one of the best videos we ever made. So, essentially, like, what it means is you can have a knife to help or harm depending on how you use it. It can either represent, and the book phrases it in a very interesting way, meaningless destruction or purposeful deconstruction. And I quote, "The knife is implicated in the perverse intimacy of compulsive self-mutilation and the seeking of aliveness through pain." Very interesting. So, while it is a source through pain, it is only... I wouldn't spare the time it takes to forward in that game's general direction. To be fair, the Yick video isn't a review. It's literally just Buddy and I, Sticky Rick, and chat right now. We shot the shit about Yick for 4 hours. Konami's working on a new Prince of Persia. Prince of Persia is Ubisoft. Why would they be outsourcing to Konami? Like, I'm not even saying that's not true. I'm just like, what? Why? Like, why would they be working with Ubisoft? That's... Man. I don't know what Konami's doing these days. I don't know what's going on with them. But yeah, but it's very interesting how what we have here is that it is only through pain that the knife can be used to some degree, symbolically. However, it can either be just meaningless destruction, meaningless wanton carnage, or it can mean purposeful deconstruction. You're taking something apart for a reason. Who knows? Did you ever see two hippos fight? That's what I imagine modern Konami is. Just shit flying everywhere. You know what? More than likely. Silent Hill 3, Konami lost source code. Yeah, that's the story. I'm gonna pull actually, but to me, I find that ridiculous because I can get, for abandonware, I can get the PC port of Silent Hill 2. I can literally go to my closet, get my game bin, and pull out my real, unironic PC port, like my 6-disc fucking install PC port of Silent Hill 3 that I got for like $5 at a Value Village of all places. So I can get the PC port of all of them. And I just have it. I have all of the source information there. So how did Konami not just take the existing PC ports and go with that? I've never understood the HD collection. I mean the remake. I mean it's not really a remake. Okay, so here's the weird part. This is like it is a remake because they did make new things from scratch. But it shouldn't have been a remake because existing finished versions of the games already were there, and you could have just taken the PC ports and up-res them to HD 1080p that way. Like, you can do that in the menu for the games that were released in 2002, 2003, respectively. I have no clue what they were thinking. Like, yeah, AVGN, what were they thinking? I returned from my practice driver shit. I see Miss Pyramid Head having some adult fun with Lion Figure. Oh yeah, he was having a party. You know, he was chilling, and we just kind of interrupted him. We talked about knives a bunch, and yeah.
You! It was you, wasn't it? You're the one who stepped on my hand.
I don't know. Maybe I did.
What's a little girl like you doing here, anyway?
Huh? Are you blind or something?
What's that letter?
None of your business. You didn't love Mary anyway.
Wait! How do you know Mary's name?
It's Shit Kid again. Okay, so what's interesting about Shit Kid there is she is played by an actual child actress doing the motion capture, and how they got her cutscenes is very interesting. The idea for that character is they specifically didn't give the child actress the context of the game that she was working on, because one, this is absolutely not a game that has content that should ever be exposed to kids at all. No. Very, very no. Two, what makes that interesting, that's a nice cat art. It's just cats. They're chilling. Just chilling, man. Having fun. But two, what makes it interesting is, as we'll see with that character later, as she does come back, she is not aware of the things that the adult characters are seeing by design. So it's like this weird bit of method acting they kind of have going on. I always thought it was really cool. I dunk on Halo CEO's the Gearbox PC port for being botched. But yeah, it's like, it makes the HD collection look fantastic. It's like, it's just silly how bad. Like, I maintain that is still the single worst. Yeah, this drawing. It's me. It's just like cuts to James Sunderland. He's this long cat. But yeah, it's like, I do maintain the HD collection is the single worst remaster, remake, whatever term you want to use, whatever term or $5 word we're using these days. It is the worst version I have ever seen, without exaggeration. It is criminal how bad that port is. Like, the 13 PC remaster, remake, whatever, that took away the art style isn't as bad as the HD collection. Think about that for a second. That's how bad the HD collection is. How could you... what were they thinking? Oh boy, so... we made it. So this is that park. Mary, are you here? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a save state, because I'm legitimate. We have not had a save point in a while, and I'm scared that it's not going to work. I'm scared that it will shit the bed, and I don't want to repeat anything, because that would suck, but... the atmosphere looks garbage on the HD collection. It's the worst. They botched it so bad. Oh, I hate the HD collection. Oh, it ruins my happy mood. For as bad as the 13 remaster is, at a bare minimum, it is a functional game. How sad is that? It's like, at least it functions. Welcome to gaming in the 20-aughts forward. Alright, so this is an interesting scene coming up here. So... I don't know. Let's check the map. Aw, oh, damn it. 1 minute. Yeah, can we scroll up? There we go. Lakeview Hotel is up there, and we're down here. So if you look up, you're looking up towards that area of the map. Keep this in mind. We'll talk more about this more in a second, though. There's someone over there? So what we have here is someone over there is staring off in the distance. At the Lakeview Hotel. They're staring off in the distance at it, because we're towards the end of the pier. So it's right there. Interesting. We'll talk about that more in a second here, but it's time to just get to the point. Okay, so let's try that again. Let's see. Okay, if it doesn't do it, we're gonna have to grin and bear it, unfortunately. Like I said, emulation is fine, but then the second you get to the CG cutscenes, I have no idea why, it just shits the bed. Here's the thing, it wasn't this bad the last time I played. I have no idea what's going on. What makes me upset is that the only backwards compatible version of Silent Hill 2 for the Expo and Series X is the HD collection rather than the original port. There's no issue. What's the lore reason that she dresses like a hussy? We'll get... okay, so you're joking. Unironically, we'll get to it. But... yeah, it's like, there's no reason they shouldn't have been able to do an OG emulation like Restless Dreams. The only thing I can think of is Konami actually just said no. You're not allowed. But I digress. Let's try again.
Mary? No, you're not.
Do I look like your girlfriend?
No, my late wife. I can't believe it. You could be her twin. Your face, your voice, just your hair and clothes are
My
different.
name is Maria. I don't look like a ghost, do I? See? Feel how warm I am?
You're really not Mary.
I told you, I'm Maria.
Sorry. I was confused.
Where are you going?
I'm looking for Mary. Have you seen her?
Didn't you say she died?
Oh yeah, 3 years ago. But I got a letter from her. She says she was waiting in our special place.
And that's here? Anyway, I haven't seen her. Is this your only special place?
Well, there's the hotel too, I guess. The one on the lake? I wonder if it's still there.
The Lakeview Hotel? Yeah, it's still there. So, the hotel was your special place, huh? I'll bet it was. Don't get so mad. I was just joking. Anyway, it's not that way. It's this way.
You're coming with me?
You were gonna just leave me?
No, but...
With all these monsters around?
No, I just...
I'm all alone here. Everyone else is gone. I look like Mary, don't I? You loved her, right? Huh. Or maybe you hated her.
Don't be ridiculous.
So it's okay?
Yeah, fine.
Okay, so Maria, Maria, I'm just gonna ask you a question here. You know the human body is 70% water, right? And Daddy's thirsty. So let's talk about Maria a little bit. Let's catch up on chat first. Yeah, we'll talk about the lore reason. Konami's trying to silence me. I will not be silenced. I will not be silenced. It's 100% its processing power. As we know, my rig is unfortunately not as good as it used to be. The memory leak is starting to kill it. Oh well. Do you guys think that kid is Mary? I'm not gonna say much more. I think obviously it's like we don't have enough information to say one way or the other, but of course, like I know everything about this game, so I'd be kind of like spoiling it if I went forward like that. Is it because James is thirsty as fuck? Yeah, exactly. He's so thirsty, he went to the lake. It all fits. Yeah, it's like the Ninja Gaiden Black and Ninja Gaiden 2 source codes are gone, which is why you don't get it on Steam. You only get fucking, what is it? Sigma? Yeah. But then they are on Xbone. And they're better. Like, Ninja Gaiden 2, especially, is so much better performance-wise on the Xbox One than it is on the 360. It actually makes me mad. It fixes the frame rate issue that game had. It's unfair. It's not fair, bros. Damn, Maria is fucking savage. Okay. So I know Wes has played this game before, so yeah, he has to have some knowledge, but he keeps just posting, like, kind of like, you know, dry, witty remarks, like, you know, sarcastic comments that end up being, like, extremely thematically important. So just put a pin in that. Maria is fucking savage. No horny, bonker. I'm too much of a bad way to play Ninja Gaiden. It's pretty hard. It's a hard game. The brain's 90% water. Maria would plan to hear Torment James. Well, we'll talk more about Maria when we catch up. The heat probably isn't helping either. There is a sound in the game background. Can someone recognize it? There is. It is this droning hum that plays when you walk around the fog world. I like skills to be good at action games, but able to do DMC 1 without gold arms. Well, to be fair, again, like, a lot of these games are fucking hard. Like, they're really, really, really hard. Like, yeah, I can clown DMC 1, but that's because I've played that game for probably close to, like, 200, 300 hours throughout the course of my life of just replaying it constantly, right? Oh yeah, well, you try them back-to-back, you get burned out, and you play DMC 2, which unironically made me go hollow live on stream. So, I understand. So, let's talk about Maria. Got a good angle looking at her, so what we can do is look at her photo and see that she literally is Mary. Like, literally. It is... Sounds like distant metal on metal. Yeah, it's this droning hum that's in the fog world. It's just there for atmosphere. I think it's pretty effective. It's very spooky. But she is Mary. Physically, down to the exact details. The only things that are different are her hair color and her clothing choices. I'd swim through a whole lake of water for my wife. But as you can see, if you look closely, the hair color is actually not different. She has bleached blonde hair. You can see her brown brunette roots, and Mary, as you saw in the photo, was brunette. So, the only thing that's truly different is her chosen fashion. Everything else is exactly the same as his wife. You know, where's my wife, Marcus? Where's Maria? Where's my wife? Oh, Gears of War. You or something, I guess. Yeah, Mary, more like marry these mutts. Elbow cough. So did Mary have a tramp stamp also? No. Well, first of all, it's not a tramp stamp. It's not on the back of the ass, so it's, unfortunately. Actually. But, Maria here has a... I'm glad you pointed that out. On her hip, on her right hip, she has a butterfly tattoo. Interesting. It is 42 degrees right now. But, yeah, I was like, she has a butterfly tattoo. Once again, the butterfly image coming back. And if we remember from Zano 1, butterflies across culture represent reincarnation, renewal, and rebirth. And the person who looks exactly like Mary, and apparently sounds like her, because, fun fact, this is, when you heard Mary read the letter in the opening. Yeah, Doom should know about tramp stamps, considering he has multiple. No, I would never. Where'd you get this information? But, I think they're butterfly or a moth. Butterflies and moths, apparently. I'm going to stress apparently, at least according to the Book of Symbols, they are somewhat interchangeable as they go through the same process of going into the larval state. Do you think the butterfly is a direct reference to the Silence of the Lamb's Death's Head moths? I think it might be like a visual thing because it's a 90s movie. Like, it's a big major American 90s movie, and Team Silent loves referencing those. But I think it's more that moths and butterflies in general are very common symbols in Silent Hill 1, 2, and 3. And in Silent Hill 1, they represented, as they traditionally do, rebirth, renewal, reincarnation, things like that. It's like a cycle of life, so to speak. And life taking on a new form. And to have that tattoo, that symbol branded onto someone who looks exactly like his dead wife from 3 years ago. Huh. Interesting. So she said, so let's go over that cutscene. She was saying, the Lakeview Hotel, it's still around. It's just across the lake. As we went into the map, Lakeview Hotel is directly north of here. And as we met Maria, she was looking and just staring at the hotel. Like, just doing nothing, just staring at it. Yeah, considering Silent Hill 1 has a Buffalo Bill skins 5th on their newspapers, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, exactly. Like, they love referencing movies like that. That is 100% in their wheelhouse. I would not be surprised. So, that's interesting. All I'll say is, it's almost as if she is guiding James to the hotel. Like, she knows something he doesn't. Interesting. Nothing worth noting. I just want to point out, admittedly, I don't know if this is just writing, or if it's actually Guy Seehe's performance that is getting this across, or if he was directed to, who knows. But what's interesting is when it's like, oh, I'm here looking for my late wife. You know, he says like, oh, you look like my late wife. And he's like, oh, I'm here looking for her. Maria instantly responds, didn't you say she died? And Maria and James, after being provoked like that, he has to stop for a second, and he looks to the side and says, oh yeah, 3 years ago. Did you forget? Like, did James just forget his wife died 3 years ago? Weird. And a lot of things is we're also seeing something that dance. She's chilling, bro. She's just chilling. But another thing worth noting is we're starting to see elements of the Maria character go along. Like when Wes says like she's savage, yes, yeah, she absolutely is. But notice how she whiplashes. She starts off being. Maybe the town is really making him stupid, but just a bit. I'll talk about it later. I don't think that's the case. I don't. All I'm gonna say is I don't think I think James did forget something, but it's not something as important as his wife's death. I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, so going back to the notebook, yeah, you see her in just really crazy mood whiplashes. So she'll start off as just like jokey and flirtatious, and then really hammering on the flirt stuff, and then backing off, then challenging him. You loved Mary, right? Maybe you hated her. And then when James is just gonna leave on his own, after he just met this person for like 5 minutes, instantly she goes, "You're just gonna leave me here? Oh my god, I can't be alone. I need to go with you. Take me with you." It's like she's just whiplashing her mood, just back and forth, back and forth. I thought the shift to dusk was based on walking distance, not an actual gradual shift in time after meeting Maria. Huh. The only thing making him stupid is lack of blood flowing to the brain. His blood, he lost too much. He saw boobs. Bleh. And yeah, so we have an escort character now. Let us go. So, alright, so I have half a page written here. Holy shit. Alright, let's just get this out of the way first. Holy shit. Okay, so... Oh god, this is the first of the Freud concepts we have to talk about. Okay, so Takayoshi Sato, in that, again, fantastic making of Silent Hill 2 featurette, which I will post later, if anyone's interested. I'll post in the... Whenever this is a finished video, I'll post in the description. Sato had claimed that the ideas of sex and death were core to Silent Hill 2's entire creative direction. Like, everything goes back to being about sex and death. This is one of the two Freud concepts we're going to talk about, because Freud argued that people had two dominant drives behind their desires and behaviors. What he called the eros and the thanatos. The eros is like this quote-unquote life drive. It's survival instinct, it's hunger, pleasure, but most importantly for our conversations, it is sex. The thanatos, on the flip side, is the death drive, self-destruction, and violent and aggressive urges. With this in mind, it's very easy to see how Silent Hill 2 fits into this sex and death, eros and thanatos dichotomy, right? So you have the lion figure. We're going over enemies now. We're going all the way back. So we have the lion figure, which represents a sick person, or this, like, we'll say patient, not so subtly alluding to, writhing in agony and in sickness. Just vomiting everywhere. Mary. However, it still remains heavily sexualized with those long, ladylike legs, and though it's the only part of the model, not explicitly shown to be, like, sickly and rotting. Clear to the top half. Then after that, we have the mannequin as well, which, according to the Book of Lost Memories, and I quote, represents James's natural urges and inclinations. The legs are sickly, but it is just legs fit together. It is exclusively there as a symbol of sex. So we have sex and death are part of both designs, but one or the other begins to dominate it. And then we have Pyramid Head, who is a mixture of both. He's this aggressive executioner with this massive knife that instant kills, and he kills multiple of the monsters in front of James as the adventure goes, but he's killing them through this vague pantomime of sex. And his entire design is just filled with phallic imagery. Like, pyramids and obelisks and shit are phallic images. You have the big penis knife. Like, again, it's just taking all of these aspects, but death is very clearly the dominant aspect of Pyramid Head's design. On the flip side, now we have Maria, this almost impossible, I want to say, woman, in a situation where she is sexy and flirtatious, and at the same time is a one-to-one physical copy of his long-dead wife. On top of that, she has a butterfly and a moth tattoo, one or the other. Doesn't really matter. That is a symbol of death and rebirth in a lot of cultures around the world. These are just a few examples. We could go way, way deeper into it. You know, you can do that on your own. But it's all over the game, and I think while I disagree the idea that everyone's mind, Monarch Butterfly to be exact. Thank you, TK Eriku Dono. Welcome for joining us. But I think the idea is, well, I disagree with Freud's assertion that everyone's mind is dominated by these thoughts. Oh, these drives are universal. That's bullshit. However, let's say for the sake of argument, James Sunderland, the man's mind is. I think that's a fair argument, and I think that we can use that to look at the sort of the things that James comes across from now on as sort of like this unifying idea. Got a health drink. Now, we don't have to do something. We can do a little sequence break, because I know where to go. So, let's go get an optional weapon that I'm never going to use, but we're going to put it in my inventory. Hell yeah. Ow. He was coming right for me. I had no choice. Alright, let's get the pipe. You can do the pipe. You can use the pipe to do some really silly stun locking. Personally speaking, I have never gotten the timing down. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do the stun locks today for the pipe. May as well. Alright, so here we have a scene that gets memed and joked about a lot, but I'm actually going to talk about with a somewhat more sympathetic light. So, yeah. We're going to make it to Brookhaven, and honestly, I think that might be it today. I think Brookhaven is a really good cutoff. Yeah, James participates in No Fat November all year, and it's just going to his head. He can't stop seeing leg monsters everywhere. It's like he kind of wants to bone, but he's gonna break his streak. Oh, is that James's spear? What do you think is his spear? I think I know what his spear is, so we'll get to it probably tomorrow. No, actually tomorrow. I think we have to have a hard cutoff. I could go literally all night. We would never stop. It would become pure delirium as I go insane in the heat. But I digress. What do you think is James' spear? I'm interested. Let's watch this cutscene, though. This is interesting.
I'll wait here. I hate bowling.
I didn't come here to play, you know.
Hurry back, okay?
Okay, so right off the bat, that's kind of interesting. Let's go check the map. We are at Pete's Bowlerama. The pipe you pull from the car. Hate bowling, based. Pizza eating, also based. The pipe you pull from the car, it could be. It could be. This is one of those, like, it could be. The steel pipe was stabbed through the car hood. It could be. I don't think so, but if someone wants to make an argument that Pyramid Head now has the spear, because James has something akin to a spear, like, well, man, let's use the pipe. Let's use the pipe. How does James use the pipe? Let's see, where is it? There it is. So we have a big spear. Men only want to bowl and eat pizza, and it's fucking disgusting. Yeah, hey, bowling? Love pizza? Simple-ish. Only assume because it was stabbed through like a spear. Well, the thing is, unfortunately, the emulator's not letting me do the light version of the spear attack. I'm only doing the heavy, and unfortunately, the emulator has this weird FPS thing that's not letting me do it. He does. He doesn't use like a spear at all. I will post you a video later of James using it like a spear. He stabs it out forward. He stabs it like a spear. For the light attack, unfortunately, I can't use the light attack because emulator shenanigans. So... I'll see if I can find a video of it later. He 100% stabs it like a spear. Yeah, I honestly, because it's stabbed through like a spear. It could be. Straight up, it could be. Like, it could be Pyramid Head is now mimicking the inventory of James, and this is how he's mimicking it. Essentially, he does. I'll see if I can find it after the stream's done. Unfortunately, emulator shenanigans strike again. But... the thing there with Maria is interesting. First thing is, she refuses to go in here. Refuses. It's like, no, I hate bowling. I hate it. And then she instantly goes back to being flirtatious. Like, you know, come back over here, stud. Hurry back. Yeah. So, again, we're seeing more mood whiplash than Maria. But just keep in mind, she refuses to come in here. Keep that in mind.
So what'd you do? Robbery? Murder?
Nah, nothing like that.
Huh, you're just a gutless fatso.
What'd you have to say that for?
I thought you said the cops were after you.
No, I just ran because I was scared. I don't know what the cops are doing.
But if you did something bad, Why don't you just say you're sorry? Well, I guess I run away a lot too.
It's no good. They wouldn't listen. Nobody will ever forgive me. Did you find the lady you're looking for? What's her name? Mary?
Okay, so we're just gonna listen to this track that's chill and jamming as fuck. This is Alone in the Town. This track is great, but rate Amnesia out of 10. I don't like Amnesia. I'm not a fan of it. Dark Descent is the best one, but that's really not saying anything. 4, 3, I don't know. I don't like any of them, honestly. It's whatever. But here's where this is interesting. Okay, so fucking Shit Kid. Shit Kid is back, and Shit Kid is hanging out with Eddie. At the very beginning, I made a point to look at the white van in the parking lot and point out that if you watch the CG intro, which we didn't, but whatever, you can see two characters hanging outside the van under the Bolorama sign. That's Eddie and Shit Kid. They were hanging out and presumably came into Silent Hill around the same time, if not together in the van. That's how they got here. So whenever if Joseph Anderson asks how did they get here, there you go. Fuck. But alright, so the idea is I guess they must have thought of a meetup point. This is their meetup point. Okay, interesting. But what's interesting is that Shit Kid, she asks, okay, Eddie, what'd you do? Robbery? Murder? First thing out of his mouth is, nah, nothing like that. Okay, that's interesting. Now, that's not as suspicious as when he was in the toilet throwing up and saying, it wasn't me, I didn't do it, That's just very casual, and it doesn't come across, I don't know, to me, it doesn't come across as if he's lying. And I think my favorite part of that is nothing like that. I just ran away because I was scared. This ties back to what Angela said earlier. It's easier just to run, and besides, it's just what we deserve. Then what did he do? We find out what Eddie did. We'll find out. We do find out pretty directly what Eddie did. What did he do? The greatest crime of all time. Oh god, what was his crime? Tell me. Oh god, he pirated video games? No, he emulated. What fucking criminal. He demolished that pizza. Is Eddie more comfortable talking to the kid? Just ass pulling here. I'm gonna be real. I don't think you're ass pulling. I think you're on point. I talk about framing a lot. It's like how James at the very beginning, in their first meeting, James is always shot as looking down on Eddie. Shit Kid is on Eddie's level. They're just hanging out. They're chilling. They're talking. And while she's kind of talking shit, it's clear that she doesn't mean it, right? I ordered a za. I'm going to order a za today, too, probably. It's too hot to cook. I just want to put out a solemn salute to our za makers around the Lower Mainland who are cooking pizza in this heat. Talking to someone less intimidating than him, I think, in my opinion, that scene with Eddie and Shit Kid is the closest we see to the real Eddie in the game. I think that's him, bullshit and pomp and circumstance removed. And the thing is, what does Eddie sound like? Fucking miserable. He's not happy. He's clearly guilty about something. He did something. He feels guilty and says, no one will ever forgive me. So he ain't proud of it. Keep that in mind. Eddie is not proud here of what he did. Talking to someone on his level. Interesting. And here we get a real conversation. We get, real Eddie, just a chill guy. Unironically, yeah, I think Eddie is just kind of a somewhat passive, but mostly chill and harmless guy. But we'll get more about Eddie as the game goes when probably tomorrow, Yeah, probably tomorrow, maybe Wednesday, if I'm really indulgent tomorrow in the hospital, we're gonna talk about the characters more, and specifically what their deal is. But yeah, I think for the most part, this is the closest we get to the real removed from bullshit and traumatic Silent Hill bullshit Eddie. So we also get a vocal confirmation. Shit Kid is here specifically looking for Mary. She knows who James is. She accused him earlier of saying, you didn't love Mary anyway. And from Eddie, we get a confirmation, Shit Kid is here looking for Mary. Okay, there we go. Yeah, damn. And now we have the most infamous scene in the game.
Eddie?
Oh, you're...
James. We met in the apartment building?
Yeah, I remember. But,
Are you alone here, Eddie?
no.
Bye-bye.
Wait! Come back! Eddie, let's go after her.
Huh? Laura? But why?
Laura. Is that her name?
That's what she said.
This town is full of monsters. How can you sit there and eat pizza?
She said she was fine by herself. She said a fatso like me would just slow her down.
Forget you.
Is Eddie a real character, or is James just imagining him? Okay, so, I mean, you could look at it any way you want, but I do not at all agree with the readings of every character is imaginary. I don't buy that at all. I think there's a specific moment where if the character who James is talking to is someone who he is imagining, it would be some of the most disrespectful and terrible handling of subject matter Team Silent has ever done. And here's the thing. Okay, so Barrick does. McCready does. That's fair. Because keep in mind, at the very beginning of the game, everything is James in the bathroom stall. Everything is about him staring in that mirror, self-reflection, moving out after that. So you could look at it and say, no one is real. And that could sort of be your beginning statement, saying like, the whole game is about James reflecting on himself. I don't personally agree with that, and there's a very specific reason why, because I think if that's the case, then an element of this game that I otherwise praise, I would say is in very bad taste. We'll get to it tomorrow. But, let's talk about that scene specifically. Yeah, I clapped when I heard the line. So once again, James is framed as being above Eddie. Also, we get a name for Shit Kid. Her name is Laura. Alright. So, James is framed as being above him. Taking his time with that one slice, isn't he? And the thing is, James kind of dismisses Eddie here. You know, like, how could you just sit there and eat pizza? Forget you. Ugh. So he's kind of like, not only is he framed as being above him and looking down on him, he is straight up dismissing Eddie now. Alright, so this is repeating that framing device. Okay, interesting. We'll wonder if that'll mean anything or change later. So, here's the thing. I've been talking a lot how Silent Hill likes to throw little weird bits of imagery to be spooky and weird and cruel. Like, we have James and the hole here, it's gone now. Dave had an interesting suggestion that the empty stroller in the pool is indicative of James and Mary to some degree. That's interesting. So Silent Hill specifically likes to take things and spawn at least an apparition of it in this nightmare scenario. And it likes to put it there specifically to fuck with someone. To tailor-made fuck with someone. Okay. Where people always say, where does he get the pizza? Where does it come from? Why is there a pizza? Well, first of all, where does any of this come from? Where do the monsters come from? You see what I mean, right? Like, you're at that point, you're just questioning the entire concept, and if you're questioning the concept, you haven't been paying attention to literally anything the game has shown you, or if I could be self-indulgent, anything I've been screaming about into the mic for the last 5 hours. So clearly, the pizza is a product of the town, meant to fuck with Eddie. Why is that? Well, notice how in the room you met Eddie. You get all these like football player pictures. Don't you think Silent Hill is a little give and take? How do you mean? I'm not sure actually. Who's the bigger shit kid, Laura or Palom from Evan 4? Palom. Laura has a reason. Torment with monsters, get a pizza. Torment with monsters, get a wife. Well, here's the thing. I think you can have the more overt monsters, and you can have the more subtly insidious pizzas and wives of the world. Because here's the thing. Maria sucks. She's kind of a jerk. She's all over the place in her mood swings. She's savage and can be kind of cruel. In this instance, yeah, pizza's good. It is. But, well, let's pair this with... We saw a lot of the imagery of the football linebackers in Eddie's room, in the football room. Just all over. Every wall is just plastered with, like, these top-level athletes. And then we have Eddie. He's kind of like a pudgy dude. Just kind of, like, schlubby, average dude. Like, you know, he's just a guy, right? He's not star athlete. I think the pizza is a part of his punishment. Go eat your fucking... There it is. That's the pizza. It's mockery. It's, yeah. Oh, you're having a bad day? Having a bad fucking time, are you? Here's the pizza. Comfort yourself, you fucking fat ass. Having a real shit day, ain't ya? It's like, that's what's happening. It's mockery. It is backhanded, yeah, you little baby. Here's your little baby boy pizza. Yeah, it's all you can do. You can't do anything. You can't go after the kid. You can't get the respect of this random man you're looking at. All you can do is sit there and have your goddamn emotional support pizza. And another thing is... So Eddie's throwing up in the toilet when you first meet him. Here's the thing. Okay, so... I think Eddie has some kind of eating disorder. Like, it's either bulimia or binge, but the point is, I think he has some sort of disorder eating. And I think what's happening here is, by just presenting him an image of this in this environment, it just putting food in front of him is setting off alarm bells already. It's already that feedback loop in his head. Yeah, just have fucking pizza, fat ass. That's all you can do. It's setting off that loop in his head, and as he has it, that loop's still going. So when Laura calls him a gutless fatso, he just takes it, because he already agrees with it. And notice how upset he sounds when he's like, you know, said she'd be fine by herself, so a fatso like me would just slow her down. Because that's what's already going through his mind. Did Laura say that, or did Eddie say that about himself? You be the judge. So, here's the question. So Silent Hill is mean. It does weird shit like that to prey upon and mock you. Why? Put a pin in that. You're really liking this? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Like I said, I was kind of fretting over this. I didn't know how it was going to go. I don't think I'm ever truly going to be happy with Silent Hill 2 in depth, but we're going to do the best we can. It's going better than my low expectations were, so I'm happy with that at least. It's the kind of thing where it's like, I would delay it forever because I would never truly be happy with it, so fuck it, we're going. We're doing it live. Walkthrough and storytelling could be better. Hey man, thanks for watching. Like, I'm really glad you guys are digging it.
Did a little girl run out of here?
Yeah, she was too fast for me. Aren't you gonna go after her?
So that's interesting. So, hold on. Alright, so immediately we're seeing some discrepancies with Maria here. So Maria, she's probably not like in shape or anything, but she's not like crippled or injured or something, right? She could outrun a literal like 8-year-old, right? She could outrun her. There's no way. Her legs are longer. She can make bigger strides. We're already seeing discrepancies where not only it's like, oh yeah, this kid totally outran me, haha. I couldn't get her at all. Aren't you gonna do it? On top of that, you're telling me that the person who looks exactly to the T like Mary, to the point where when James first sees her, the first thing is out of his lips are Mary. You're telling me the person looking for Mary wouldn't take one glimpse at Maria and say, there you are, I've been looking all over for you. No, she just went past. Something's not adding up about Maria here. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see as the game goes on. The skirt's kind of tight. I imagine it'd be hard to move. Well, fair enough. That's true. That's possible. All I'm gonna say is there's some scenes later we're gonna talk about. But there's a little bit about Maria we'll talk about later. As wait, this is interesting. It's locked.
She went through there.
Is there any other way?
Yeah, there is. Right through there.
It's no good. It's locked.
And there we go. I noticed that's a statement. She wasn't asking. Yeah. She wasn't asking. It's like, oh, she totally outran me, haha, but she knows exactly where she went. These camera angles are amazing. The camera work in this game is so fucking good, dude. So good. But this is another interesting detail. So remember we were talking earlier about how James could not progress without Pyramid Head opening the door and deflooding the room. James now cannot progress without Maria somehow just spawning the key to this door and having it. Interesting. Also, this track, Heaven's Night. Perfection. Ah, here we go. This is what I was talking about. This is the blink and you'll miss it. Liquor bottles. I don't need that right now. It's not that I don't drink. In fact, I drink a fair bit. To get away from the pain, the loneliness, but the drinking never changes anything. Anyway, I don't need that now. There's something I have to do. And there you have it. That's what I think the hole is. It is James trying to cover up with grief with alcohol, and that is the hole. That's why you find it in the bar. It was the hole that was there, but it's gone now. But it's not. It's never gone. It's a poor covering of a hole. That's just my take on it. There's a million ways you can read that line. That's just mine. Paradise. Heaven's Night. What I wouldn't... is there a... There we go. There it is. Would it be better if it was first person? No. No, hard no. This game's camera work and third person angles are fucking amazing. In first person, you would lose so much of, like, the shot framing, the way the camera dynamically can change and change the lighting like this shit. The way, like, you can... we'll see in a second. There's a scene where you leave. That's a good angle. But I would love to have a sign that's just Heaven's Night. I would love this. I love neon lighting signs. I gotta get that made one day. One day, man. Like this. Like, just look at these angles. Look at that shit. Like, you can't get disorienting angles like that in first person. You can only get first person. I think first person can work better if you're trying to be immersive. But the thing is... I don't think Silent Hill is trying to immerse you in atmosphere. It's not trying to immerse you in the role of James. James is very clearly his own defined protagonist. He's his own man with his own actions, his own objectives, his own personality. He's not like he's Gordon Freeman, right? Who's just a blank slate that you put yourself into. Or like, I don't know, like Doom Guy or, you know, pick your poison for silent FPS protagonists. I ran into walls sometimes. I mean, fair enough. Like, tank controls and stuff aren't for everyone. And it's like, it's not for everyone, but I think just for the visual direction, just from that standpoint, I think having first-person cam would be a mistake. I think it works for games where you are the protagonist and is a self-insert. Silent Hill 2 is not a story of a self-insert, though. Silent Hill 2 is a story of a man and exploring the mind laid bare, so... I think it works better that it is a third-person game where we have distance from James. That's just how I'm looking at it. Alright, we will get the map here. And you know what? I think we're just going to save. I think this is the perfect place to call it. I think that, yeah. I think that is a lie. We have been doing this for nearly 5 hours. So, that is an absolute lie.